tonight in Neyland Stadium, and why not? It's Tennessee and Florida. For the past 14 years, in 13 of those years, one of these two teams has played for the SEC Championship in Atlanta. We have gathered tonight for another beauty. Next, Tennessee and Florida on CSS. On a beautiful night in East Tennessee, 108,000 fans have gathered at Neyland Stadium to watch one of America's classic rivalries, the Florida Gators and the Tennessee Volunteers. Hi everybody, I'm Bob Bell along with Terrence Cleveland, former University of Tennessee receiver, set to bring you the action in what should be a beauty. Quarterbacks in the spotlight all over the place, Terrence.
And for Tennessee, I like to call there too the dynamic duo. Brent Schaeffer and Eric Ainge were impressive in the debut against UNLV. Philip Fulmer said they did all that we could ask young quarterbacks to do. Their maturity, their poise were just exceptional. They'll have to have great games tonight. The stakes go up in this ball game. They'll have to play well. For Florida, you know all about their super sophomore, Chris Leak. He quickly established himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC, had some big wins last year against Georgia, against LSU. He's accustomed to playing in big games like this, so you'd have to give the edge to him in this kind of ball game.
In reality, though, they may be just handing off a lot tonight to running backs, right?
I think Randy Sanders will try to take some of the pressure off his young quarterbacks. I think he'll try to establish the run, and Tennessee got off to a good start against UNLV. Cedric Houston is a starter, averaged over 8 yards a carry. He needs to do that to get his young quarterback settled in this ball game.
Middle linebacker for Florida is a super player.
He's the engine for their defense. Against Eastern Michigan, 10 tackles, 1 fumble recovery. Channing Crowder will be around the football all night, and he'll be a factor in stopping Tennessee throughout the whole ball game.
They both won handily on their openers, but as a friend of mine told me this week, now they're ready to play big boy football. It's Tennessee and Florida coming up next right here. Back to the action in Neyland Stadium. Schaeffer drops the ball, picks it up, rolls out to the right, tries to find a little running room and does turn it into a little something when it had the possibility of being nothing. Jeremy Mincy finally made the stop. He is the defensive right end for the Gators.
Looked as though that was going to be a run to the right to Cedric Houston. Schaeffer fumbled the snap and just was able to get all that he could get on the play.
Boy, these two have been engaged in some real duels down through the years, and a few of them have been a little bit on the one-sided nature, but for the most part, just great football. Tennessee with 2 receivers set left, 1 to the right. They put a man in motion. Schaeffer sticks it in the stomach of his fullback and then hands it off to Derek Tinsley, and Tinsley fumbled the football, and I believe the Gators have recovered. So the first break in this ball game goes to the Florida Gators. Tennessee tried to get a little fancy, Terrence, and it didn't work.
And I can't understand why at this point in the ball game do you feel like you need a reverse. Brent Schaeffer just fumbled his snap from center on the run, comes back here, and him and Derek Tinsley fumbled the exchange. Florida comes up with a big turnover in Tennessee territory.
All right, now the Gators will take over with Chris Leak at quarterback. Cedric Faison is your tailback, and he's a good one. The crowd tries to get into it. Leak hands it off to Faison, fakes it to him, beautiful fake, and then throws deep. Had a man out there with a step on the defender, Andre Caldwell, just a little bit over his head.
Andre Caldwell had a step on Jonathan Wade, and Chris Leak right off the bat sends a message to the Tennessee nation of what can be expected throughout this ball game.
Well, I think everybody in the stadium, including the coaches on the Tennessee sideline, were expecting a run. There's Chris Leak, Cedric Faison, Latsko is his fullback. In the shotgun, Leak fires quickly, got a man. Still on his feet, still fighting. It is O.J. Small, and he is to about the 23-yard line. O.J. is not small, by the way, 226 pounds, pretty good size for a receiver.
6'1", 226. John Chavis.
Harrelson, Mahalona, Harrell, and Carlton Neal are your defenders up front. Mitchell, Simon, and Burnett are the linebackers. And in the secondary, it's Wade, Allen, Johnson, and Hefney. Of course, Hefney and Wade getting their first start at corner. And there is a timeout, and it has been because of an injury at midfield. So it is an official timeout. That's John Chavis, the defensive coordinator. And the man down is a key member of this defense, middle linebacker Kevin Simon. If he should not be able to return to action, Omar Gaither would figure in the plan, probably would move Mitchell inside. With the score 0-0, you're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Trainers, medical staff working on Kevin Simon, middle linebacker, who is on the sideline with some sort of an injury right now. We'll try to get an update for you. Back to the play. Tennessee, of course, fumbled on an attempted reverse. Tinsley got hit, dropped the ball. The Gators pounced on it, so they're in Tennessee territory in good shape right now with the ball on the 23-yard line, where it is first down and 10.
Florida likes to run the reverse out of this set.
Here they come, sweeping to the right, trying to get to the corner is Cedric Faison, and he gets a little bit of room and finally gets run out of bounds inside the 20-yard line. John Poe, who has come in replacing Simon, was the man who made the stop.
Florida deciding to go with a no huddle may confuse Tennessee a little bit on their assignment.
Leak is rolling, looking, throwing deep, out of bounds. Tennessee defensively covering pretty well that time. It was intended for and was complete actually to Cornelius, but Cornelius, as you saw, was both feet out of bounds. Another look.
Going to put Chris Leak on the roll, and he has time, has protection, able to get his feet set. Receiver just momentum carried him out of bounds.
All right, here comes a big third down and about 5 for a first down. Florida Gators deep in Tennessee territory. Receivers, 2 split to the left, 1 to the right. Leak gives it off, takes it to and gives it to Faison. Faison keeps driving for a first down. Beautiful bit of running. Kind of headed out to his right, got back to his left, and did a great job. Jason Allen saved it from getting into the end zone.
Good call by Florida. Good job by Faison of finding the hole and being able to pick up the first down. They're going to run this out of the shotgun. A little give to Faison. A big hole there. Tennessee expecting maybe a pass. He does a good job of picking up the first down. Good hard running.
Boy, he dipped to his left real quick, didn't he? He's got a great move. So it's goal to goal on the 5. First and goal to goal for the Florida Gators. Result of a Tennessee turnover has put them in great shape. Leak looking, throwing. It is complete touchdown to O.J. Small. So Tennessee pays for the turnover.
The turnover in their territory hurt them. Tennessee confused in the secondary on this play. He's wide open. O.J. Small's wide open. You're going to see him come across your screen from the left to the right. Nobody picks him up. He's wide open.
Ball got there, but way too late when he actually made the reception. No one within 4 or 5 yards on either side. So Leach will come in now and attempt the extra point. It's up there, and it is good, and the Gators go on top 7-0. Turnovers will kill you in a game of this magnitude. In any game they will hurt, but when you're fairly evenly matched, as these two teams are, then you cannot afford to turn it over. With 11:15 remaining in the first quarter, you're watching college football with Florida leading 7-0 on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Sports Night has the gridiron covered on Tuesday. College football Hall of Famer and former Notre Dame star Ross Browner joins the crew live, and NFL expert Gerald Riggs reviews all of the weekend's NFL action. Catch Sports Night live on Tuesday at 6 Eastern, only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. And your score, Florida Gators 7, Tennessee nothing, 11:15 remaining in the first. Corey Larkins will be back. Petrovich will be kicking off once again for the Gators.
Be interesting to see if Tennessee comes back on this series with Eric Ames as their quarterback.
It's a nice kick. It's going to travel all the way 2 or 3 yards deep into the end zone. And Tennessee's Corey Larkins decides not to bring it out wisely, so they'll put it in play on the 20-yard line. There is a flag down on the field.
Florida being very balanced offensively. They're going to send small cross of defense. Tennessee gets confused in the secondary. He's in the end zone. Florida very efficient on offense. Chris Leak there to celebrate. Very efficient offensively, courtesy of the Tennessee turnover.
There was a flag down on that kick. We still haven't gotten it sorted out down there. There's Randy Sanders over on the sidelines. Holding apparently is going to be the call. Kevin Simon has a knee injury, it appears. He has been taken to the locker room to be evaluated. Penn Wagers.
Holding 44 on the receiving team. The foul occurred during the kick. The penalty would have been enforced on the kickoff. Therefore, Florida has declined. First down.
Well, there you have it, the explanation.
Omar Gaither guilty of the hold on the return.
The answer is Brent Schaefer remains at quarterback and Cedric Houston at tailback. Then Tony Brown in motion. Giving it off to Cedric. Nice bit of running. Cedric Houston, who came into this game averaging 8 from his first game, picks up 11 right here.
This is what Tennessee should have done on the previous drive. Establish the run. Stick with it. Good blocking up front by the offensive line. Good job of Cedric Houston choosing holes.
They got, in your opinion, a little cutesy in that first series, right?
I think you did. I think you have to allow your offense to settle down, allow your quarterback to settle down, and give your running back that's averaging over 8 yards to carry a chance to get a feel for the game.
Once again, Tennessee with receivers on each side, put a man in motion and run right up the gut once again. This time to the 35-yard line goes Cedric Houston. Channing Crowder made the stop, 4 yards on the pickup.
On this drive, Cedric looks as though he's picking up from where he left off in the UNLV game before the injury.
There's the Gators scoring drive. 6 plays, covered 34 yards, took only a minute 15, and Small with the reception on a wide open pass play. Tennessee puts 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left this time. Schaefer hands it off. Spinning, driving is Cedric Houston, running the midfield. Channing Crowder had to drag him down 14 yards. Boy, Cedric is on fire early here.
Cedric on fire, and the Tennessee offensive line on fire. You give the advantage to the Tennessee offensive line or the Florida defensive line, and Jason Respert and his group are just blowing holes for Cedric Houston. He's making the first guy miss, and the rest is just extra effort.
That's what's demoralizing to a defense, too, when you give up chunks like that. 28 yards already for him, 7 yards on the average right now. Why not feed it to him again? Dancing and getting some positive yardage. Stephen Harris made the stop. Stephen Harris is the defensive right end. 5 yards on the pickup. Let's look at him again.
You and I talked about the balance that Tennessee had in the UNLV game and how effective they were at being a balanced offense and being able to dictate to UNLV what they wanted to do offensively. If they establish the run here, I think they'll be able to do the same thing.
They give Houston a breather. They bring in Gerald Riggs. Riggs picks it right up and drives across right guard and tackle for a couple before Stephen Harris again made the stop.
You know, Philip Fulmer talked about this rotation at running back, and a lot of people say rotation by situation, and Philip Fulmer says, no, we just want to keep fresh legs in the ball games at all times.
See his numbers from last year on Gerald Riggs. Not that many carries. He hopes to get many more this time around this season, and he will. And we'll see Jabari Davis later. Man in motion. Receiver on each side. Schaefer keeps. He's got the corner. He's got the first down and out of bounds. Nice block by Derek Tinsley. 5 yards, but a big 5, and Tinsley with clearing the way.
This play is set up by the great running Tennessee's been doing this drive. There you see the run fake. Gets Schaefer out on the edge, and he has a 1-2 option. And there's that exceptional block by Derek Tinsley. Watch the fake. This is all set up by Tennessee's ability to run the ball on this drive. They bite on the fake, allow Schaefer to get out on the corner. Tinsley gives him a great block, pick up the first down.
1st and 10 to go for Tennessee. Hands off. Tailback still driving and fighting is Gerald Riggs. He got 4 yards, 4 hard yards. But I'm really impressed with the way Riggs and Houston both are digging with those legs. They're not slowing down with that first hit. Ray McDonald, the right tackle, along with the right end, Jeremy Mincy, in on the stop for the Gators.
Good blocking there. You see Munoz pulling. You see the left guard pulling.
2 receivers at the bottom of your screen, 1 at the top. A lone tailback. Schaefer checking with that tailback and hands it off to Gerald. Gerald Riggs, big hole! Down across the 25, maybe to the 24-yard line. 6 yards on the carry.
You start to see Tennessee pick up momentum in this football game, running the ball. Good man-on-man blocking. What a huge hole. And Gerald Riggs is just running hard, picking up where Houston left off.
And when you do that, you're saying, I'm stronger than you are. And that's the message you send to the defense. Schaefer turns, looks at the sideline, maybe checking off right here. Defense creeping up on him. Hands off. Big hole. Gerald Riggs running with passion. 12 yards.
The Tennessee offensive line is mauling the Florida defensive line. Folks, this is textbook running the football. Man on man, watch the surge right there. Riggs able to slip through, and he's in the second level of his defense. Good blocking. You see Munoz 3, 4, 5 yards downfield. This is good old Tennessee football. Philip Fulmer loves this kind of football.
That's Munoz, Smith, Respert, Cody Douglas, and Sears up front. 3 receivers set this time. Schaefer keeps it inside the 5, down to about the 2. Clint McMillan made the stop. He faked, pulled it back in, and showed why he is something special.
I again believe this play is set up by the running of Tennessee. He's going to fake to Riggs, and the defense is going to follow Riggs. Allows him to slip up in the hole, and as we both know, he just needs a small team.
He got 11. It's 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. 6:09 to go in the first quarter. Tennessee trailing, but they're marching. This started after the kickoff at their 20, and they're marching downfield.
Tennessee going to have to hurry to get to the line. Play clock down to 2.
He's going to have to call a timeout. You hate to see him waste a timeout right there, but that's exactly what they had to do, and that's their second one that they have used. Tennessee and Florida, one of the great rivalries in Southeastern Conference in the nation, for that matter. Georgia and Georgia Tech were both undefeated heading into the weekend. Were they able to hold off the competition? Catch back-to-back football replays Tuesday night on CSS. First, third-ranked Georgia takes on Marshall at 7, followed by the ACC battle between Georgia Tech and North Carolina at 9. It's all on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. All right, Gerald Riggs is the tailback. Tennessee knocking on the door, trailing Florida 7-0, but first and goal at the 2-yard line. This drive has featured great blocking. Will it continue? Well, he's down to just about the 1-yard line. Jabari Davis, who comes in inside the 5 almost always. A little bigger. Jabari's in that 230, maybe a couple of pounds heavier than that. They like his play on the goal line. He pounds it right there, number 34, but not quite enough. Florida's defense, Terrence, had a pretty good surge that time.
Good surge there, but Corey Campbell, excuse me.
There's Jabari. Corey Anderson, there's the fullback. They give it off once again, diving inside. This time, touchdown, Jabari Davis from 1 yard out on the dive play.
Corey Anderson leads Jabari Davis into the end zone with a big block.
And that's a pretty good lead. He weighs 270 pounds, the fullback. Another look.
Jabari Davis gets career TD number 6 versus the Florida Gators. As you say, good block by Corey Anderson, and he's up and over and in the end zone.
Wilhoit will attempt the extra point. Henderson will be holding. And Tennessee will attempt to tie this ball game with 5:06 remaining in the first quarter. It's up there, and it is good. That was a real solid drive, and it was culminated with this touchdown.
You're going to see Corey Anderson leading, stops the penetration, and Jabari Davis is up and over the top.
So we have seen Tennessee in the first quarter use 3 different tailbacks, and they've all been effective.
And we talked about at the beginning of the ball game, we felt like Tennessee would have to run the football to be effective and take some pressure off their quarterback. And you see how their offensive line mauled Florida defensive line on that drive.
Well, there's the Vols scoring drive, 12 plays, 80 yards, and consumed a nice long 6 minutes and 9 seconds. So you get it all right there. A long drive, takes up a big chunk of time, and then you finish it off with a touchdown. First scoring drive of the season, over 80 yards. There's Jabari Davis, who made that touchdown. Caldwell and Jackson will be deep for Florida to receive from Wilhoit. He kicked high and to the 3-yard line. Florida with a nice bit of return here. Return yardage out across the 30 to the 32-yard line. So he returned it 30 after fielding it on the 2.
Jabari Davis scores the touchdown and then makes a touchdown-saving TD on the return.
Jabari on the special teams. Ron Zook, who was victorious his last time in here in what was one of the worst weather nights I've ever seen. Tennessee had all those problems, remember, with the exchange between the center and the quarterback, but right now we're 7-7. Faison gets positive yardage across the 35 to about the 37-yard line before he is stopped, and he's hit by Jesse Mahalona. Faison is a solid back. He is 6 foot, 215 pounds, junior. Defensive coordinator John Chavis knows he can't give up chunks of yardage to the Florida runners. It'll be second down and roughly 4 to go for a first. In the shotgun, they throw it out in the flat. There's your first down and more. Florida across midfield. The flag goes down back around the 45-yard line. Faison carrying, Mahalona made the stop. Flag down, and the officials are talking. Going against Florida. Block in the back. Probably is our call right here. Got him out on the edge under
Illegal
the
block in the
flag.
back. 72 on the offense. Penalty is 10 yards. Down remains second.
Lance Butler, the guilty party, the left guard. Remember, this year they do identify the guilty party, as they have done for eons in the NFL.
And I think it's a good thing that they're doing now, identifying the player who's guilty of the foul.
Crowd trying to whip up the Tennessee defense right here. It'll be second down, and now about 9 yards to go for a first down. Clock running, 3:48 remaining in this quarter, and the crowd gets into it again and may have caused this timeout, as a matter of fact.
Ron Zook said Chris Leak is a different quarterback than he was last year. The way he manages the game, the way he approaches the game is completely different. Had a lot of success last year, but he said it's night and day between last year and this year as far as I'm concerned with our quarterback.
Florida took the lead 7-0 on a Tennessee turnover at a short field and went in with a pass to O.J. Small. Then Tennessee drove for the 7th time in this early season with a drive over 80 yards and went in to score and tie it. Now Florida with the football with a little over 3 to go in the first quarter. Leak out of the shotgun. Fires complete in the middle of the field to O.J. Small. He's got to figure out some way, Terrence, to cover O.J. Small. He's running free out there.
One of the few times tonight we've seen Tennessee bring pressure on Chris Leak. It's a gamble when you bring pressure on a quarterback like this, because if the pressure doesn't get there, your defensive backs are in man coverage, and O.J. Small, big receiver, is going to have an advantage.
Jason Mitchell made the stop. 3 receivers set to the right and 1 to the left. They throw out in the left flat to the back coming out of the backfield, and it's complete to Cedric Faison. Faison gets up short of midfield.
Faison looked like he may be a little shaken up after that play.
Cedric is coming to the sidelines. Deshaun Wynn backs him up. Let's take another look at the play. 7-yard gain.
It's going to be a little flare outside to Faison. And Jonathan Wade, I think, is going to come up, and I can't see where he may have been injured.
2 receivers set to the right, 1 to the left. Tailback backs up a couple of steps. Leak is changing the play at the line. Tennessee cheating up into the line of scrimmage, and they cut it off. Deshaun Wynn, who just came in at tailback, was hit just as he got to the line, but Jonathan Hefney, no gain to speak of on that one.
Jonathan Hefney, coming from his defensive back position on a blitz, is there to be able to stop Wynn on the run.
Second down and 11 since he lost a yard. Tennessee now with 3-man front at the moment. 4 linebackers standing up. Long count. They hand it off, and Tennessee does a pretty good job of stopping it. Jason Mitchell hitting Deshaun Wynn just as he stepped into the line of scrimmage. Not much on that one.
Tennessee defense becoming more active, moving around. I think this is starting to cause Chris Leak some problems in getting his team into the play he wants them to be in.
So it's third and rather long, 9 yards to go. Florida's conversions, Tennessee's conversions, not bad. Spread the field with 4 receivers set. And they're going to throw out of it long down the sidelines. Well covered by Tennessee and intercepted by Tennessee. Wow. What a great play by Jason Allen, who had it all the way, step for step with him. And Allen went up 6'2" and pulled it down. Take another look.
Jason Allen, Tennessee's best defensive back, moved to free safety, but this time he's playing his natural position of corner. He's in great position for the INT.
Andre Caldwell, the intended receiver, didn't have a chance. Allen smothered him. So Tennessee's D comes up big. There's Jason.
Jason Allen, the leader in that Tennessee secondary.
Eric Ainge has now replaced Schaefer at quarterback. Coach Fulmer had said he would do as he did in the first game, alternate them. Here's Ainge firing, complete. Put it on a rope out here to Chris Hammond. Across the 30 to about the 32-yard line, 12-yard gain.
You see the Tennessee offense moving with a little more life now. Their ability to run the football has put some excitement into this offensive football team. They're getting to the line quicker. It's just a totally different football team from the first drive.
Saw the numbers there on Eric Ainge. Like Schaefer, very calm. Doesn't appear to be rattled by the big crowd. It wasn't in the opener anyway. Hands off, bouncing outside comes Cedric Houston. And he gets close to the 40-yard line. Got 6 yards on the carry. He was hit by Demetrius Webb. Another look.
They go back to what was successful on their scoring drive. Just good, hard running, allowing Cedric Houston to be able to pick lanes.
There's a good look at Cedric. Tennessee 3 receivers set on the right, 1 to the left. Only Cedric in the backfield. They give it to him. He comes outside. Still on his feet across midfield and down to the Florida 45-yard line. Earl Everett hit him, but not until he'd turned upfield and made another big gain. And he goes off limping. 15 yards. Cedric limping off the field.
Injured his ankle or knee in that first game against UNLV.
End of the first quarter. Tennessee 7, Florida 7. You're watching CSS, your source for Southeast sports. There's your scores. We go to quarter 2, 7-7. Take a look at the last play.
We've talked about a lot of things that Cedric Houston does. But watch this stiff arm that allows him to be able to continue this run. It was a big reason he had a big pickup there.
And he did limp off the field. Looked like maybe an ankle injury. Corey Larkins has come in, so that's the 4th tailback of the night for Tennessee. And all, I might add, have been effective. Well, we'll see if Corey is. He brings a little different dimension. He's maybe a little quicker in getting to the edge. Ainge, Florida offside, it appeared. But I don't see any flags down. Yes, I think there is one over there as Larkins got to the edge, but it looked like the left side of the line jumped.
You would think because of movement it would be on Florida, but there was also some confusion on the Tennessee side of the football also on this play.
So it might be Tennessee drew him on. We are having our normal little gathering of officials down there. Ben Wagers calls it offside against the Gators and a personal foul. There's Michael Munoz, one of the captains on this Tennessee team. Ron Zook will await an explanation.
On the play, offsides on the defense, that penalty was not accepted. Tennessee took the penalty of the personal foul. Takes man. First down.
It was a face mask penalty. First quarter. Gators 3 first downs, Tennessee 9. Big edge in rushing. Look at that, Terrence.
Tennessee has the advantage in every category. The turnover, the difference for Florida.
7-7. Tennessee moving downfield now. Hands off to Larkins. Larkins gets to the corner and gets to the stick and is out of bounds. First down.
All of Tennessee's backs have different dimensions that make them special. The one thing Corey Larkins has is he's one of the fastest players on this Tennessee football team, and you see how quickly he's able to get to the corner. The little dip right there, and then Corey Larkins is by a lot of Florida Gators.
So it's first down and 10 to go for the Tennessee Volunteers. Moving with the football. Larkins numbers. They give it to him again. This time tries to run power football up the middle. Not much there. Marcus Thomas, left tackle for the Gators, made the stop. Florida opened up with an easy win over Eastern Michigan. Tennessee opened up with a rather easy win over UNLV.
Don't know that Corey Larkins is the best back to be running in between the tackles, but the way the Tennessee offensive line has been blocking and opening holes, all he needs is a seam to get in the end zone.
So it becomes a 2nd down and 9. He got no more than a yard on that one. And now there is going to be a timeout, and this one will be charged to Tennessee, and I believe that's their 3rd.
And if I'm not I think that timeout was called by the fullback, Corey Anderson, not by the quarterback, Eric Ainge.
And Coach Fulmer seems a little upset over the timeout being called. Now this year coaches can call timeout on the sideline as well, but this one was called by a player heading toward the sidelines. We think Corey Anderson. Well, the timeout apparently was called by Randy Sanders, or at least he wanted the timeout. Wrong personnel on the field, you're guessing, maybe?
Wrong personnel are not lined up in the right position. He didn't like what he saw and he wanted a timeout.
Ball is on the 17-yard line. 14:27 to go in the 2nd quarter. Tennessee 7, Florida 7. Tennessee's came on a grinding, beautiful 80-yard drive. Florida's came on a short field situation after Tennessee turned it over on a fumble. Now the balls are back in deep in Florida territory. Ames rolls left, fires, got his man. It is a touchdown, Justin Reed. Wow, what a great throw, great catch, 17 yards. Justin Reed, who is 6'7", 275 pounds. He used all of that size.
Great throw, great catch, and a great extra effort by Justin Reed to carry this football into the end zone.
Came to Tennessee as a punter. I guess you could say he outgrew that, huh? Well, here's a guy who can kick. Will Hoyt. Henderson holds. Will Hoyt splits him. And the Vols go up 14-7 on the Gators. Another look.
Good call by Randy Sanders. He's going to fake the dive and then get Eric Ainge out on the corner. Gives himself 1 to 2 options. He throws a bullet to Justin Reed, and this is all I want to get in the end zone. Justin Reed can smell that checkerboard. He's not going to be denied.
Justin has not been there before. Now he has. Ainge reaction. You know, he's rolling to his left and throwing back across his body, and he drilled it.
Beautiful throw. Good drive by Tennessee.
There's Justin.
I guess if you're Justin Reed, you come to Tennessee. Tennessee has the All-American punter Colquitt. You need to find somewhere else to play.
Now it's the 8th scoring drive of the season for over 80 yards. Great demoralizing for the defense when you just drive it downfield like that, 80 yards, and do it in the air, you do it on the ground, you run outside, you run inside. They mixed it up beautifully. Randy called a great drive there. And there it is. 7 plays, 80 yards, took a minute 50, had 1 penalty in there that helped a bit, a face mask penalty.
And this is a Tennessee offense that's doing this, substituting their quarterback.
Rotating the quarterback.
Rotating the quarterback. A lot of talent, a lot of potential for Tennessee offensively. And also rotating their tailbacks. That's the 4th tailback we've seen play tonight for Tennessee, as you mentioned.
Philip Fulmer, who's been hobbled a little bit of late, has a stress fracture in his leg. Been on crutches for a while. He's got rid of the crutches, but as you can see, he's still slightly favoring that stress fracture. Florida Gators, the Tennessee Vols. These teams have dominated in the Southeastern Conference for a long time. Georgia has jumped back now into a power picture along with teams like LSU and Auburn. But we're going to have a great race in each division right down to the wire. There's the man of the hour. One of them, Justin Reed. As you can see, a huge guy. Came here as a punter. That didn't work. They said, Justin, you're a pretty good athlete.
Came as a punter from Punta Gorda, Florida.
They put him in tight end, and the rest is history.
I think he's found a home.
Andre Caldwell and Chad Jackson are deep for Florida. James Wilhoit will kick off. James gets quite a bit of it, all the way down to, goes out of bounds. Oh my goodness, what a mistake. Goes out of bounds at the 3-yard line. Caldwell trying to field it over
Bad
there.
decision by Andre Caldwell. You let this ball go, it rolls out of bounds, and let them kick it over. Let this ball go, it either carries into the end zone or it goes out of bounds. If Tennessee has to re-kick, they re-kick from the 35.
Crowd gets into it now. Tennessee defense has a chance to really come up big right here. They can hold Florida at this position on the field. They give to the tailback, not much. They jammed him. Carlton Neal at the bottom of the stack, along with Justin Harrell, the right tackle.
Bob, let me correct myself. Tom Adderley correctly points out, if Florida lets this ball go, they get it at the 35 instead of the 3. Bad decision by the return guy, Caldwell.
There's Carlton Neal. Stood up big on that last play. Second down. Nothing. Submarining in. Omar Gaither. 0 yardage.
You can start to feel old Mo start to wear the color of Tennessee.
Von Zook barking at somebody on the sidelines. It's 3rd down and 10. Florida has failed to move it an inch. Omar Gaither, who's a terrific athlete. Lake's going to go in the shotgun and try to throw it out of there. Throws it out to the 5, and they got out of the hole with a first down. Theatric Faison. After Tennessee stopped the run, they couldn't stop the pass.
Great call by Florida. John Chavis drops everybody back in coverage, and Florida throws a screen out to Faison. You're going to see Tennessee drop back in coverage, and they throw it out. And good lanes, good blocking by Florida allows him to get them out of the hole and pick up the first down.
There's the reaction. Here comes a good gain off the left side by Faison. Up close to the 30, about the 29-yard lines where they were spotted. John Poe, Kevin Burnett, 2 linebackers in on the stop for the Volunteers.
John Poe filling in for the injured Kevin Simons. Not quite the athlete that Kevin Simons is, but still solid for Tennessee at middle linebacker.
Faison came to the sidelines, limping just a little bit. Nothing serious, it would appear, but Deshaun Wynn will replace him. Leak rolls and throws. Nothing there. Tennessee smothered Billy Lasco, the fullback. It was Jason Allen and Kevin Burnett. John Chavis like that. 0 yardage.
Larry Slade said Jason Allen is as solid a football player as you would ever want to coach. Paris Harrelson's going to apply pressure, and Jason Allen going to make the sure tackle on the fullback.
That brings up a 3rd down and 5.
Chris Leak wanting a call there.
Well, he didn't get it. He goes into the shotgun. Fires for the sidelines. Too high. Did they say he's inbounds? I believe they did. He caught it inbounds. Thought he was going out. Dallas Baker made a good play then. We're going to take another look at that perhaps, but Baker really had to stretch for this one. Covered 11 yards.
Dallas Baker is 6'3", able to go up and get a high pass and able to get both feet in bounds. Good catch.
So again, on a 3rd down, they convert. Flags fly everywhere. Both sides
the ball
of
was
the line.
snapped prior to the ready for play signal. penalty.
Penn Wagers, the Southeastern Conference referee, made the call, and you heard it.
Chris Leak starting to have a little trouble with the management of the game clock, or the play clock. We saw Tennessee have a little difficulty on their first drive. I think the crowd is playing a part in that for Florida.
Well, they could play a part. There's the penalty situation. Tennessee 0, Florida 3 for 30 yards. With the fullback in motion, they pitch and they run behind that fullback and get some yardage. Deshaun Wynn finally pushed out of bounds, but he got up around the 42-yard line. Jason Allen made the stop from the secondary. The gain is 5.
You know, we talked about Tennessee's good depth at running back. Florida also has 2 very, very good running backs in Cedric Faison and Deshaun Wynn.
Yes, they do. Wynns rushes. 9 for 30. A little over 3 per. Doesn't come outside this time and gets up to midfield. And into Tennessee territory is Andre Caldwell. Caldwell is an excellent wide receiver. Only a sophomore, but has had extensive playing time.
Credit Caldwell. Omar Gaither should have this play wrapped up right there. Poor tackling by Tennessee, but you could also say that Andre Caldwell is a great wide receiver.
It's on the 49 in Tennessee territory. It's first down and 10 to go for the Gators. Quick pitch. Got a hole. Got down to the 45-yard line. Kevin Burnett made the stop of Deshaun Wynn. Got 10:34 to go in this quarter. 4-yard pickup. Another look.
Florida having success running the football. You may have saw a hole there on the right side of the screen that didn't get called.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. It's second down. They need about 6 for a first. Tennessee leading 14-7 and trying to slow down what's turned out to be a pretty good drive here by Florida. In the shotgun goes Chris Leak. He keeps it, and he got hit. Chris Leak got knocked down.
Kevin Burnett able to take his feet from him on what seemed to be a design quarterback draw.
1 yard is all he got.
Chris saying that's not my kind of game. He's going to fake it to Wynn and then follow him right up in the hole. Or maybe Wynn saying, hey, I'm supposed to get the football.
I think he was. Or at least Wynn thought that. In the shotgun. Fires. Got his man. Got the first down. Down to the Tennessee 36-yard line. O.J. Small once again.
This is a very good drive by the Florida offense. They started this drive on their own 3-yard line. This shows you the potential of this offensive football team.
Florida trailing Tennessee 14-7, but driving methodically down the field. Tennessee trying to figure out some way to stop Leak and company. Leak has perhaps changed the play. Looks like he has. In the shotgun. Gives it off in the middle, and a big hole he breaks out of there. Looked like he might be stopped to Deshaun Wynn, but then he burst through and got down to around the 20-yard line before Tennessee could knock him down. Well, it's going to be pulled back to about the 23-yard line.
Deshaun Wynn able to hide behind those big offensive linemen. He's just going to wait and choose his lane for a big play.
13th play of the drive coming up. Well, it's been a long, as I said, methodical drive here. Florida trying to drive and tie it. Still a lot of time. 8:30 to go in the first half. Here's Leak throwing long. Got a man wide open. And he dropped the football. Andre Caldwell. Wow. Somebody made a major mistake in the secondary.
Florida goes back with the route stick across the quarterback's face, and they're going to confuse Tennessee. You got the play action. You're going to see Caldwell come across the screen. He's wide open, just right outside of his outstretched arm.
Nobody within 10 yards of him.
Tennessee dodged the bullet, and Chris Leak knows it.
Slade's secondary had caught out of position on that one. Faison back in the ball game, and he carries it forward for a couple of yards before LaRon Harris made the stop. Cedric Faison, who limped off a few plays ago, but is back now and okay. Probably just had a little stinger in the ankle or foot. He got 2. It becomes a 3rd and 9 situation for Florida, so it's a big down for the Tennessee defense right here. Big down for the Florida offense. They'll go with it in the shotgun. Leak backing up and throwing. Got his man. And a first down inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal. Dallas Baker brought it in right at the out-of-bounds line.
Good job by Dallas Baker of driving off Jonathan Wade and then coming back to the football. Wade has to respect the speed and the height of Dallas Baker.
It's a 13-yard gain. So it's 1st and goal at the 9-yard line. There's a total yard situation. Tennessee with a big advantage in that department. But Florida threatening to tie it here. 9 yards away from doing that. Leak backing. Now he's going to run. He's got some room out there. Now he tries to throw at the last second, and he completes the pass for a touchdown. What an athletic play that was by the Florida quarterback. And a great job by Cornelius getting himself open in the end zone. Another look.
Good protection. Good job of Leak of moving around in the pocket. He's going to buy himself some time here. Fakes Tennessee with the run and finds the open receiver in the end zone.
Tennessee's secondary had been whipped pretty bad on this drive. There's a Florida shift on the extra point. They will kick it, of course. Matt Leach will attempt to tie this football game, and he does. It's Tennessee 14, Florida 14. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Tennessee and Florida locked in a good one, 14-14. Another look at the touchdown, Terrence.
Florida able to take advantage of an inexperienced Tennessee secondary. Leak buying time and finds wide receiver open in the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, it was a good play. And inexperience is a good way to put it. Both corners starting tonight, their first game. Just a young secondary, and they're going to have to grow up because they're going to see a lot of this. Every coach is going to take a look and say, hey, I'm going to throw on those guys. Petrovich kicks it deep. Larkins in the end zone, and he'll stay there. Corey Larkins.
University of Tennessee Athletics. Brought to you by Little Debbie Snacks. Unwrap a smile today. By BB&T, Branch Banking and Trust. By Hound Dogs, where real UT fans shop. By Jiffy Lube, the well-oiled machine. And by JCPenney, the only name to know for the Vols on video. Look for the new Tennessee vs. Notre Dame DVD by Vol Network Home Entertainment at participating JCPenney stores.
I'm a great-grandmother, 71 and counting. Oh, I danced to swing. I danced to tango. I've seen money wasted, thrown away. I've seen it used to accomplish things I never dreamed possible. I will teach my great-grandchildren to know the difference.
There's the Gator scoring drive. 16 plays, 97 yards. And it took 6:42 off the clock. Cornelius with a 9-yard catch from Leak for the touchdown.
Very, very impressive drive. And the momentum, you could start to see the momentum swing Tennessee's way, but that scoring drive really evens things up, and the crowd is out of the ballgame.
Yes, they are. They're very quiet. They're more like a 45,000 crowd than a 108,000. Eric Ainge comes back in. He directed the last drive for a touchdown. Houston is also back in the tailback. Houston trying the left side. Not much, couple of yards there before he is knocked down, and he's hit by Marcus Thomas, the left tackle.
Stop by Thomas.
2-yard gain.
Randy Sanders going back with the run game. Florida's going to get some penetration there by Marcus Thomas that busts Tennessee's play up.
Tennessee, 2 receivers right and 1 to the left. Now Ainge stands up and maybe checks off right here. Appears to be doing that. Backs up, throws in the flat, complete. Short gain by Chris Hannon.
Chris Hannon. Forced out of bounds by Webb.
Another look.
Ainge is going to check to Tennessee's quick game, which is the 5-yard quick out. That's in their system for them to be able to pick up a quick pass if there's a blitz.
Brings up a manageable 3rd and 3. Ainge looking at the sidelines, now relaying that message to his teammates. Tennessee has used up all their timeouts. Flag on the play. Houston gets through, but they have been motioned.
I think it's going to be offsides on
Marker on the play.
Ray McDonald, possibly.
If so, it would be enough for a first down for Tennessee. McDonald is standing very close. He wants to be involved in the conversation, but well, it goes against him, I guess, because he gave a sort of a disgusted look.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is 5 yards, enough for a first down.
Why would you take that long to discuss an offside penalty? I guess maybe somebody might have thought there was motion, maybe that caused him to jump. Let's take a look.
Let's see if he was drawn off sides. What caused him? I didn't see any movement.
No, there was no movement. Only by McDonald. Nothing on this play. They tried to run outside. Florida strung it out and dropped it beautifully. And McDonald was one of them. Jarvis Herring also 5 yards on the minus side.
Very difficult to run outside on a fast Florida football team. Cedric Houston's been successful tonight running inside and bouncing outside, but when you take it and initially start outside, they're so fast it's not going to be successful.
So that brings up a 2nd down and 15 now for Tennessee. So probably have to go to the air right here. Ainge goes into the shotgun, gets a high snap, rolling and throwing, and intercepted. Intercepted and back down to the 35. Still on his feet to the 30. And finally dragged down. Big turnover. Terrence Holmes, a sophomore, came up with the big play, returned it 20 yards. So Eric Ainge throws his first interception, and it is a costly one.
And Philip Fulmer said these guys are going to do some things that will make our heads swim. This is a bad decision by Eric Ainge. Well over the wide receivers' hands and into the Florida defenders' arms.
So Tennessee with their backs to the wall now. Remember, Florida scored their first touchdown here tonight on a Tennessee turnover. Let's see if the same thing happens here or Tennessee can stop him. Deshaun Wynn is the tailback. Leak is back looking, wants to go for it all. Wide open. Down to the goal line and out of bounds, looks like on the 1-yard line is Andre Caldwell. That side of the field, something is breaking down. Tennessee is not covering at all.
It's the same route. Florida is running 4 people deep and running Caldwell across the field underneath. He's getting lost in coverage.
Another look at it.
They're going to run 3 receivers down the field and clear out room for Andre Caldwell to come across underneath, and he's wide open. Watch this tough run by Andre Caldwell at the goal line. Flat out runs over Jonathan Heflin.
So it's first down and goal at the 1-yard line. Gators threatening to take the lead, and they do. Deshaun Wynn goes in off right guard tackle and gets the Gators on top. And Florida has scored 2 times tonight on Tennessee turnovers.
Florida is a good enough team. It's difficult to beat Florida when you don't turn the football over.
Another look at Wynn. Got that last yard on his own. Just spun around and got into the end zone. Now Leach will come in and attempt to put the Gators up 21-14. Cannot turn it over against this team. That's what killed Tennessee the last time they played on this field, these 2 teams. Leach is up and good, and Florida takes a 21-14 lead. So Florida's had 1 good long drive tonight and then 2 short drives as a result of turnovers. 5:29 left in the quarter. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, back here in Neyland, it's 5:29. That's how much time we have remaining in the first half. And the Gators scoring drive, a grand total of 2 plays, covered 30 yards, took 17 seconds. And that's what you call a quick strike. And it has put Florida on top 21-14. 2 times tonight, Tennessee turns it over in real good position for Florida to march in and score. Tennessee's secondary really showing some problems right now as the kickoff is taken by Corey Larkins and down in the end zone. There's a flag up at the 31-yard line, so we'll hold everything here. Flag on the 31-yard line. Tennessee has alternated their quarterbacks. They tried to reverse in the first quarter, and Tinsley fumbled the football, and Florida bounced on it, had a short drive in for a touchdown. Then Ainge in this quarter throws an interception on kind of an ill-advised throw, and Florida quickly strikes. And in both cases down here, well, three different occasions we have seen Gators running wide open.
Holding 48 on the receiving team. Penalties declined. Again, this penalty, if accepted, would have gone to the kickoff and re-kicked. They declined that option. First down.
All right, so the penalty is declined. Tennessee will take over on the 20-yard line.
Holding on Alex Wilson.
There's the passing yardage, and that is pretty one-sided. Florida 136 in the air in the first half, which is still 5 minutes from being over. Brent Schaefer is back at quarterback. Tennessee trying to run outside, and Florida chases him down. Gerald Riggs not able to get to the corner. Nothing gained on that.
Tennessee was very effective running against Florida, running inside the tackles. On their last 2 plays, they tried to beat Florida on the outside. I think they should go back to running in between the tackles. Their offensive line was dominating the Florida defensive line.
Jarvis Herring, Live Oak, Florida. This time they do try to cut it back inside. Gerald Riggs, not much there. 2 yards is all. So it's back to the long yardage situation on third and 8. Tennessee needed at least a couple of first downs right here to show some life and keep the Florida offense on the sidelines for a while, but you have to come up with a big play.
3rd and 8.
Trooper Taylor, the Vols running back coach.
Watch them trying to get Brent Schaefer out on the corner on the road.
Nice run, but it's going to come up short by Gerald Riggs. Tennessee will have to kick. Earl Everett made the stop. Strong side linebacker. And Tennessee will have to send the punting team in.
Randy Sanders not happy at all with that series for Tennessee. This is a long give by Brent Schaefer to Gerald Riggs. I think there was some confusion on that play.
Colquitt will be in to punt for the first time. One of America's premier kickers comes in here tonight averaging over 50 yards a kick as a result of the first game. Burnell Brown is standing back at his 30-yard line. Colquitt drops it, picks it up, and then gets it away. Brown fields it. And they get to the sideline. If he does, he'll have running room, but Tennessee finally cuts him off over there, will not let him turn the corner. That person being Kevin Burnett. But it's pretty good field position for the Florida Gators. 40-yard kick. 8-yard return. 40 yards well below his average.
And
so
if you have an average kicker in the SEC, you'll take a 40-yard punt any day.
Yeah.
But with Dustin Coker, we think that's a bad kick.
Oh, 40 short. 3:19. Florida in the first half leading 21-14. And now we'll try to mount a drive and add to that. They run straight ahead, nothing doing. Tennessee's defense knocks them down right at the line of scrimmage. Burnett, among others, in there. Turk McBride, big number 90. Defensive left end.
Good play by Kevin Burnett. He's going to slip through and meet Faison in the backfield. Nowhere to go.
There's Kevin, one of the captains. Now they go back into the shotgun since nothing was gained on that one. Look for the airstrike here. Second down and 10. 5 receivers. 3 left, 2 right. They flood it. And a man wide open. In the middle is Jamal Cornelius, who had scored earlier on the touchdown.
That's the same play that's been effective for Florida that was effective on their last series.
Got 9 yards on it. 2:22 to go.
This time, instead of crossing the defense completely, he runs inside and hooks up. And Chris Leak is able to find him.
And Leak's numbers, 14 of 18, 146, 2 touchdowns, 1 INT. It's not going to be much that they need. Bring the chains out. It's going to be 3rd down and a matter of a foot or so. Well, you better not crowd up too close. He might throw it on this.
I was thinking the same thing. You crowd the line for Tennessee, and they may go over the top.
And that may be what he's checking off to. He looks up and sees only one deep man, and that man is only about 10 yards from the line of scrimmage. Leak hands it off, and it looks like enough for a first down. He got at least to the 50-yard line. That's about where he needed. Cedric Faison, the tailback.
I think his momentum allowed him to pick up the first down.
Stops the clock at 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first half. 2 yards is what they give him on it. And now the clock starts running again.
Both Tennessee and Florida substituting a lot of players on this drive.
Tennessee trying to find someone who can defend the pass, or at least try to get some pressure on Leak before he throws. And so far he's had plenty of time for the most part. He's in the shotgun. He fires it out in the flat, and a good play in the flat this time prevents a long gain. Jonathan Hefney, a freshman, made the play. 0 yards.
Jonathan Hefton, a true freshman, making his first start at cornerback for Tennessee. As you said, comes up with a big play. This is a little flare to Cedric Faison, and this is a good tackle by a true freshman.
Boy, yeah. About a 20-yard gain. So it's 2nd down and 10. A little over a minute to go. Pitch wide running as Faison, nothing doing. Got hit behind the line of scrimmage. Tennessee strung that one out real nicely.
Faison met Paris Harrelson.
Harris been pretty quiet tonight. They haven't run in his direction a whole lot. And there is a timeout. It's been called by Florida. Tennessee, remember, is out of timeouts. Florida has used their second. 54 seconds remaining in the first half. Got a good one here in Knoxville. With the score of Florida 21, Tennessee 14. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. I think the last scoring drive took a little bit out of this crowd. They've picked it up a little bit right now. Florida in the third down department doing tremendous, as you saw. Here's Leak throwing. Got his man in a crowd. 3 balls around him, but O.J. Small, who weighs 226 pounds, came up with the football. Big guy for a receiver. Bigger than the tailbacks, as a matter of fact. Got 8 yards on it.
Tennessee going to drop a lot of people in coverage and come up and make the sure tackle.
So it stops. Well, the clock is running with 19 seconds to go. 16. What's going on here? Florida's on the sideline. Florida leading 21-14. Stop the clock at 8 seconds.
Penalty is 5 yards. Down remains 4.
So Florida was just letting it run down, so Tennessee will have no time much. On a 4th and 4, they will punt and give Tennessee a grand total of 8 seconds. And as Terrence, you point out, Florida gets the ball to start the second half. They did win the toss and deferred, so they will get the ball to start the second half. And right now their offense is hot. So Tennessee's got to do some serious talking in the dressing room at halftime.
You saw glimpses of greatness from Tennessee in the first half, and their offense has since sputtered.
Eric Wilbur is the punter, and Tennessee just lets it go. Bounces into the end zone and runs out the clock. 49 yards on the kick. So in the first half, Florida came out, took a lead. Tennessee came back, tied it. Tennessee then took the lead. And now Florida has gone ahead 21-14. If you're Tennessee, the bright spot is you ran the ball pretty well in the first quarter. If you're Florida, you threw the ball well all through the first half.
You're right, and I think Tennessee's going to have to come back and throw the ball a little bit to open up their offense.
It is halftime. Florida 21-14, and you're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Philip Fulmer has been head coach at Tennessee for 14 seasons, more than any other coach in the SEC. How will Fulmer and the Vols fare this year with 5 SEC squads ranked in the USA Today Top 25? Catch the Philip Fulmer Show on Monday at 7 Eastern for the latest volunteer football news and highlights. By the way, the coach is suffering from a leg stress fracture, been hobbling around a little bit.
Hobbling around, used some crutches in the off week, and I think he's using a golf cart to get around in practice this week.
All right, Schaefer's at quarterback. Gerald Riggs is at tailback as Tennessee goes to work on offense. Tries to get something going here to get back into this ball game. Schaefer getting to the sidelines. Florida did a nice job of chasing him out of bounds. Crowd wants a late hit. Don't think they'll get it. Ray McDonald, the right tackle, was the man who made the stop of Schaefer.
I think this was a run by design, but Florida's defense very fast, nowhere for Schaefer to go. I think this is a quarterback run by design, and Schaefer trying to get all he can get. Nothing there.
It's a very fast defense. Tried to trick. Comes up second down and still about 10 yards to go. Schaefer hands off this time to Riggs. Riggs goes straight ahead to the 30-yard line, so it'll bring up third and rather long. Give him 2.
Florida's,
third and 8.
Florida's making a conscious effort to stop the Tennessee run, so Randy Sanders may want to think about throwing something over the top, kind of loosen up this defense a little bit.
This team needed something to happen here offensively because defensively they've really been struggling in the past quarter and a half. Schaefer looking at the sidelines and now trying to get his team set with the clock ticking down. Got the play off though. Fires, got his man. Good play. Chris Hannon up to midfield or close to it. They needed that play.
Really felt like Florida was packing it in to stop the Tennessee run, and Tennessee has to go over the top, start throwing the ball to loosen up this Florida defense.
26 yards on the play. Another look.
Good call, good protection. You see protection there. Schaefer able to wait and find Chris Hannon open over the middle.
Ball is on the 48-yard line. Where it becomes a 1st and 10. Got 18 on that one. Fires out the flat. It is complete to Swain. And Swain turns downfield, ducks his head, and gets a little extra yardage before Corey Bailey made the stop from strong safety. But a good play by Swain especially.
Good yards after the catch by Jason Wayne and a good throw by Brent Schaefer.
Got 10.
Quick 3-step drop and a good job of Swain of making yards after the catch.
It's a 1st down and 10 to go, so Tennessee's got a little something going offensively now, led by quarterback Schaefer. Gerald Riggs remains at tailback. 2 receivers left, 1 to the right. Quick drop, in trouble, rolls back, looks downfield, fires. It's going to be almost intercepted. Chris Hannon was the intended receiver. Ill-advised throw perhaps there in the double coverage. And Tennessee's got a man down. Demetrius Webb was defending along with Terrence Holmes.
Very dangerous throw by Brent Schaefer, and Chris Hannon tries to make a play and leaves himself exposed and takes a shot from the Florida defense.
Looks like Chris Hannon is the man down.
Schaefer going to spin out of the protection. He's out on the edges, and he's waving Hannon to the end zone. And Hannon takes a shot.
Yes, he does.
By Terrence Holmes.
Kind of a forearm type deal there. And when you're up in the air like that, totally exposed to something like that, no protection at all.
Cannot protect yourself at all. He's a tough kid, though.
He's getting up. It's like he's holding his right arm. Hopefully nothing serious, because right now he is one of the top 2 receivers certainly on the team, I would say.
Tennessee didn't throw the ball a whole lot in the first half, but he was their leading receiver in the first half.
Tennessee 14, Florida 21, 3rd quarter. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. There is middle linebacker Kevin Simon out of uniform in street clothes with a knee injury early in this game that will be evaluated. He would be missed tremendously. Hannon, we're told, will return. Looked like motion there. We will await the referee's official decision, and here it will come quickly.
To the snap. False start. 76 on the option.
Aaron Sears is the guilty party there. First penalty on Tennessee tonight. 21-14, Volunteers have fallen behind the Gators. We're still with a lot of time left in this game. 9:09 right now to go in the 3rd quarter. Tennessee trying to move with the football. 2nd down, roughly 15 yards to go for a 1st down. Schaefer's operating out of the shotgun. Got 3 receivers set to the left. He looks that way. Then he throws, tries to throw back to his right. Going to run in that direction. Look at the electrifying man go. Spinning, driving, still spinning. My goodness. What a great run. Talk about ad-libbing, improvising. There you have it at its best. Earl Everett finally made the stop.
Bob, I don't know if you can use any more adjectives on this run, but you see the ability of Brent Schaefer. He's waiting for Jason Swain to come open, decides to tuck it, and you see the athletic ability of this young Tennessee quarterback.
Got 22 yards out of what appeared to be nothing. So it's 1st down and 10 to go. Schaefer moving this team right now. Gives it off to Riggs. Riggs is driving hard and gets to about the 20, maybe a shade short of the 20-yard line. Gerald Riggs, Cedric Houston, Corey Larkins, Jabari Davis have all seen action at tailback. 3 yards on the gain. Let's take another look at some magic moments right here from Brent Schaefer.
This is what you get in this quarterback. The play breaks down, and he just becomes a running back.
This time he gives it off to Riggs on the left side, and Gerald drives for a couple before he is knocked down. Second down, it'll be about 7. Ray McDonald, who's been in on a lot of tackles tonight for Florida, made the stop.
Florida's defensive line and linebackers are very active, very athletic, and they do a lot. They chase the ball a lot. They move around a lot. Tennessee was successful there in the first half of running the football and really what I feel like dominating the Florida defensive line, but they've come back and fought back.
The middle linebacker, Channing Crowder, is a really outstanding defensive player. One of the best in this conference. Schaefer is going to go in the gun. Going to be rushed. Ball is loose on the ground. Earl Everett hit him, and Florida has come up with it. So there you have it. Ray McDonald hit him, and Earl Everett was right in there with him also. McDonald probably will get credit for the recovery, but it was a combination of those two. Take a look.
Combination of those two. Just the pressure's going to get there too close on Brent Schaefer. Pats the ball once, and there the pressure's on him.
So both quarterbacks have been guilty of some key mistakes tonight. Haynes threw an interception, and now Schaefer's come up with a fumble. Out of bounds on the sidelines over there. O.J. Small, Jonathan Wade in on that play. The attendance tonight, 109,061. Another look.
Jonathan Wade going to deliver a jarring blow to O.J. Small, and he knocks the ball loose. I'm not sure that's not a fumble.
You know, I think it was. He held it long enough. But that's not the way it will be recorded. Second down and 10 to go. Good eye-opening play for the defense there. Let's see if they can carry over with another one. Leak maybe changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pitches. They're going to try to sweep to the left and do find some running room down the sidelines. A ton of it. In fact, still going past midfield and down to the 45-yard line. Cedric Faison. 32 yards on what should have been maybe a 2-yard gain. Take another look, and you'll see Tennessee's defense just got sucked in further and further on this one.
Florida going to get to the corner, and they missed the tackle there, and this is just good running by Cedric Faison, and Tennessee missing a lot of tackles.
He ran by one ball who apparently did not even see him as he went by. 6:45 remaining in quarter 3. Florida driving and leading 21-14. Tennessee had something going. It appeared on offense and then turned it over with a fumble. And Florida reacts quickly, driving into Tennessee territory. Here's the handoff. Straight ahead drive by Deshaun Wynn, who backs up Faison, and Wynn gets down to almost the 40-yard line. 5 yards on the pickup.
We've seen him do this tonight. Just that little slick handoff to Deshaun Wynn inside and picks up some good yardage.
The attendance tonight breaks the all-time Neyland record. 109,061. The old record was set against Florida, ironically, in 2000. Long pass could be intercepted and then could be caught. And really, neither thing happened. Looked like Tennessee had a break on it to intercept Jason Mitchell, and then looked like a receiver had a chance, Deshaun Wynn, to pull it in, and both of them came up empty. Another look at this one.
Jason Mitchell misses a big interception, and Deshaun Wynn misses a big touchdown pass. They're going to fake. Leak is going to fake right and then throw back, and that just went right through Deshaun Wynn's hands.
All right, it's 3rd down and 6. Here's a big down for the Tennessee defense. They need to stiffen right here. Leak operates out of the shotgun, gets in a little trouble, got out of it, and is still on his feet and driven out of bounds. Looks like past the yard marker by about a yard. So he'll allow a first down. Jason Allen from free safety made the stop of Chris Leak.
Chris Leak shows you his mobility there. Not really a running quarterback, more of a pocket passer, but when things break down, he has the ability to get out and make some things happen with his feet.
And Florida wanted a flag there on the tackle by Jason Allen, but the referees don't call it.
First down and 10 to go. Tennessee had a chance there to come up with a big stop. They couldn't do it. Florida still driving. Leak wants it through the air. Got a man out there, and it is complete. Right on the sideline, but the official right on top of it says he brought it inbounds. O.J. Small, 17-yard pickup.
This play is a good example of the inexperience of Tennessee secondary. Jonathan Wade is in position to make this play, but he doesn't jump for the football. And I'm not sure he caught that ball in bounds.
We do not have the luxury of instant replay in college, but that one might have drawn the red flag that you see in the NFL. Florida in great shape, trying to sweep to the left this time. There is yardage inside the 10, still fighting and clawing his way down is Deshaun Wynn to almost the 5-yard line. Carlton Neal and Jesse Mahalona made the stop.
And Deshaun Wynn gets up pumping his fist, letting the coaches know that he feels it. This is the same play that Seatric Faison almost scored on a minute ago. A big lane there and just good hard running by Deshaun Wynn.
5:14 remaining in the third quarter. Tennessee trying to stop another Florida score. And that's not the way you do it. They get down almost to the goal line. 1-yard line is Deshaun Wynn, who is feeling it apparently. 228-pound sophomore. Got 5 yards.
They go back with the same play, and Deshaun Wynn able to get to the corner. Just good blocking by the Florida football team. Good blocking by Bill Lasco, the fullback, and the left side of the offensive line.
Even UNLV had some success getting out on the edge like that and then turning it upfield, and it's carrying over here with certainly a better offensive line and bigger and stronger running backs. Luke fell down, coming out from under center. Probably a guard stepped on him there. That usually happens when you see a quarterback go down that quickly. Might have tripped himself, but more often than not, a guard will step on your foot.
But Leak wisely sees that he's going to fall down. Instead of trying to pitch the ball to the tailback, he just takes a loss.
And the loss is 3 yards back to the 4-yard line. So it'll be second down at that point. 2nd and 4. Timeout has been called by the Gators. With 4 minutes left in the third quarter, it is Florida 21, Tennessee 14. Florida driving. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, here comes the 10th play of this drive by the Florida Gators. It is second down and 4. They're up 21-14, and they're 4 yards away from having another touchdown. In the shotgun, 2 backs in for protection. 2 receivers set to the right. Now they put one of those backs in motion. He got hit just as he threw. Chris Leak, and it's incomplete in the corner of the end zone. Paris Harrelson hit him just as he was turning it loose.
One of the few times tonight Tennessee's able to get pressure on Leak. A good job by the Tennessee secondary of staying with the wide receiver, staying with the guy they're supposed to cover. He's got to go find anything early, and Paris Harrelson able to beat his guy and come up with a big play.
That was Jason Mitchell, who was doing a nice job running with the receiver that time. So here comes a third down and 4. 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Leak will go into the shotgun. He will get some pressure. He will put it in the end zone, and it's going to be incomplete. Waved off. Jamal Cornelius was the intended receiver. So it's field goal time. Another look at it.
Cornelius going to run a slant on Jonathan Hefney, and Hefney going to get in and break up that pass. I think the ground may have jarred the ball loose.
Yep, there it is. So now Matt Leach will attempt a field goal. It'll be a 21-yard effort. It is up there, and he's no good. My goodness, I was going to say he's automatic from that, and he normally is. So maybe the tide has started to turn a bit right here.
This may have been the spark that the Tennessee football team needed. They dodged a huge bullet here. And he knows he's missed it.
Yeah, he doesn't even
knows right off the bat.
argue or anything. Kevin Burnett actually went behind him there and told us that it was no good. That's Leach, who's a senior and is a very, very dependable kicker.
This may have been the spark that Tennessee needed.
Eric Ainge brings it a mound now at quarterback, which probably means they might be going a little more through the air right here. Tennessee continues to alternate those quarterbacks. Schaefer had a great thing going, and then they fumbled the last possession, turned it over. Florida drove down, couldn't get in. Tennessee made a defensive stand, maybe a defensive statement, and then the missed field goal. So it's still a 21-14 ball game. Whatever the discussion was, it has been settled. Ainge has two receivers to his right, one to his left, and he's back in the pocket. He throws out in the flat. It's complete, and it's going to be good for about 5. David Holbert gets 5 yards. He is a freshman fullback from Nashville.
True freshman.
Yes.
So Tennessee playing a lot of true freshmen in tonight's football game.
Boy, they are young, and when you look at the secondary, young and inexperienced. Eric Ainge is looking at the sideline, getting some late information. Now the fullback requests, what is the play? Have to hurry and get it off. They do. Ainge got a man right in his back. Boy, he got hit just as he turned it loose, but he bounced up all right. C.J. Phaeton was the intended receiver.
Him and C.J. Phaeton not on the same page, and they're going to bring in Corey Anderson to substitute for David Holbert. David Holbert was very confused on that play.
Yes, he was.
Fullback.
And somebody didn't pick up the defender coming from the backside.
I bet that was David Holbert.
I'll bet you're right. Ainge looking now at a 3rd and 5. Third down conversions. Tennessee 3 out of 5 of them tonight. Got a little time, throws. It's going to be close.
I think he's
got a good spot, I believe.
I think he may be a little short.
Tony Brown was the receiver. Yeah, looking across the field,
I think it was a generous spot by the official, but I think it may be a little short.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be about 3 or 4 inches. It looks like the marker is right on the 30, and the ball maybe, well, we'll just have to see here. The camera will tell us all.
Tennessee needs this first down in a big way. Able to keep Florida out in the end zone. They need to put this ball on the other side of the field.
And here comes the stretch. And it appears actually no more than an inch.
The crowd wanting Phillip Fulmer to go for it. I think you could lean your quarterback forward and get this with no problem.
Boy, I think you could too. I believe I would go for it. But Phillip Fulmer is the dean of the SEC coaches, and he will make the decision, and his decision is to go for it.
He may also try to draw Florida offside with a hard count here by Eric Ainge.
It's 4th down, folks. They need no more than 2 inches for a first down. They got Respert in there, and Ainge is 6'6", and it appears they got it. Respert is having a good year at center, so they ran behind him, and the 2 big guards pulling their way forward, and they got the first down.
Tennessee really needed that first down to continue the momentum created by the defense and the missed field goal opportunity of Florida.
Boy, when they spot the ball, that's about what he got. He got about 2 inches. Just the nose of the football barely across the 30-yard line. But it was a gamble I think the coach had to take because we're getting fairly late in the third quarter. Florida has had a lot of momentum since they took the lead 21-14. Tennessee's had a couple of big turnovers tonight. They had a chance to go in maybe for a score, and now they're fighting back. Gerald Riggs driving for some yardage up just shy of the 35. You got to have 3 yards on it.
Seems like the audibles from the sideline are causing the offensive line some confusion, and they're not able to fire up on the blocks the way they want to. Florida able to get some penetration, but that's just good running by Gerald Riggs to make people miss.
3 receiver set this time. Got a man in the slot behind him. Eric Ainge is your quarterback. He and Schiffer, the 2 freshmen, have alternated.
I think it's going to be batted down at the line by Jeremy Mincy.
The offensive line on that play, I was kind of watching them, Terrence. They do seem sort of passive almost. When in the early part of the game, they were really pounding everybody. The man getting up there with the block was Mincy. There he is, Jeremy Mincy. Big junior from Statesboro, Georgia. So this brings up another big down here, 3rd and 6. Ainge has got 2 receivers to his left, 1 to his right. Keeps backs in for protection. And he's got a little protection and throws complete. It's enough for a first down. Derek Tinsley on the receiving end at the 42, maybe closer to the 43. 8-yard gain, but it did move the chains.
Good throw by Eric Ainge and a good catch by Derek Tinsley. Derek Tinsley's going to run a little short 10-yard across the middle, and Ainge going to put it right on his numbers.
Minute 11 remaining in the third quarter. Florida up 21-14. Derek Tinsley's receptions, 2 for 8 yards. Nice running this time by Gerald Riggs, right up to midfield. Riggs gets 9 yards.
Tennessee offense starting to get some life. Like we talked about, the offensive line able to fire off on their blocks. No question about the play that's going to be called man-on-man. Good surge by the offensive line.
Okay, that was the case that time. They had the play, they came up, they ran the play. There was no looking to the sideline. This time Ainge does stand up and look. So this is what may cause the offensive line some confusion. Now you've already got a back that's confused. Totally. And he's still got something out of it with about 2 men were on the same page and everybody else was confused.
Something to note, when Eric Ainge stands up to audible, Jason Respert has to audible at the offensive line to tell them what their block should be.
Chris Hannon is the receiver. 5 yards he got.
Tennessee has a lot going on offense when they decide to change the play.
So many men involved. We're going to take a break right here. Florida's leading by a score of 21-14. As we end this quarter, you're watching college football on CSS, your source for sports in the Southeast. Well, we have 15 minutes of football remaining after 3. It's Florida 21. Tennessee 14. Hard to believe, Terrence, no more scoring in that quarter with all the movement up and down the field in that quarter. First downs, Tennessee still got the edge there. Rushing yardage, Tennessee. Passing yardage definitely tilted to Florida, 176-95. Total, Florida, but not that far ahead.
The turnover's the difference in this ballgame.
Yeah, Tennessee's got 2 big turnovers. It's hurt them dramatically. Ainge, as we start the fourth quarter, is trying to read the sideline message from Randy Sanders and company. Now he's trying to relay it to his team, and let's see if they're all on the same page. Driving straight ahead is Gerald Riggs. What's a lot of sign language to run a straight ahead shot like that, you know?
A lot of audible, a lot of action for a straight ahead dive. And Charlie Strong defensively called a good play that time. He had a blitz coming and he blitzed right into the run of Gerald Riggs.
We're early seconds of the fourth quarter. Florida 21, Tennessee 14. A record crowd of over 109,000 in Neyland Stadium. First conference game for each of them. Both came away winners in their openers. Here's Ames rolling and throwing. Got a man open down to the 38-yard line. 39, they say, stepped out on the 40, though. It's Brett Smith, who has been injured and is finally getting to get in some playing time. He got 11 yards on it.
Florida's starting to pack a lot of men inside, and they're one-on-one man coverage on the outside. Ames able to get on the corner and throws a strike to Brett Smith.
And a little applause there from the freshman quarterback for his receiver, Brett Smith. This time he sends 3 receivers to the right and brings one of them back in motion. Ames sticks it in the stomach of his tailback, and Riggs gets down across the 30 to the 29-yard line. Jeremy Mincy made the stop, but not until Gerald had picked up some nice yardage, making it a 2nd down and 5. Got 6 on it.
Thus far, this has been an impressive drive by Tennessee, mixing the run and the pass.
We still got a lot of time, 13:45 to go, but Florida's got a 7-point lead. Tennessee in Florida territory, though, on the 29-yard line. Ames throws again to the sidelines, complete, and it's Chris Hannon who gets a little gain down here.
Well, you have to like the way Eric Ames throws the football.
It's enough to move those chains. Got 6 yards on it. So it's 1st down and 10 to go for Tennessee. They keep picking away 5, 6, 7 yards. And you're right, Terrence, they are mixing it up nicely. It's a good shot of Ames and his numbers on the night. 9 of 12, 72. Touchdown.
Take away the interception, he's having a very good night.
Rolling to his right, throwing. Touchdown! Beautiful strike. Wow! 23 yards. Brett Smith, who's coming off an injury, and he's made 2 big plays here.
This is a great throw, but this was almost an interception.
Yes, it is.
But he threw that thing on a rope. Great concentration by Brett Smith. They're going to roll Ames and get him on the corner, and he throws this thing, and oh, so close.
Florida defender made a great move on it, almost. But what concentration by Smith.
Great concentration by Brett Smith. I agree. And Bob, we got us a football game.
We are dead even. 21-21 with 13:02 remaining in this contest. Another look at this play.
Get Eric Ames on the corner, and he's going to throw this thing on a rope. And great concentration by Brett Smith.
Florida defender just misjudged it. Wow. We're tied 21-21, and you are watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, there's your situation. 21-21, 4th quarter, 13 minutes to go. The scoring drive, 14 plays, 80 yards. By the way, that's the 9th scoring drive for Tennessee in this young season of 80-plus yards. 9 times.
There you see Brett Smith from Warren, Arkansas.
Will Hoyt will be kicking off. Andre Caldwell and Chad Jackson will be deep. Here's where you'd like to get one into the end zone, into the checkerboard. And you know what? He just kicked it out of the checkerboard.
You want it? You got it.
So Florida will bring it out to the 20, put it in play 1st and 10, and we'll see what the Tennessee defense can do now that the offense has gotten them 7 points on the scoreboard to tie this thing at 21-all.
Tennessee defense able to keep Florida off the board, created some momentum for the offense. You need your defense to feed off of that momentum and come up with a big stop here.
And they're getting the crowd back into it right now. Leak's going to operate out of the shotgun. 3 receivers set. Fakes the face on. Going to keep it and roll and throw and completed it, but the receiver really paid the price. He was hit. O.J. Small, but he is a big guy. Got 13 yards. Jason Allen really popped him.
Good pickup by O.J. Small. And a good job by Chris Leak of buying time. Tennessee going to get some pressure off the corner. He steps up in the pocket and allows his wide receiver to find an opening. Good play.
All right, it's now a first down and 10 to go. Leak having a great night. 21-21 score. Officials conferring. Whatever, they have settled that, and we're ready to play. Leak's going to go under center this time with the eye backs. Two receivers set to his left. Gives it to Faison. Faison gets a couple. Kevin Burnett made the stop.
See, after Faison didn't like the call, he looked to the sideline with the question like, I don't know what the play is.
Got 2 yards out of it. So it becomes second down and 8. Second down and 8. In the shotgun, 3 receivers set. 2 to the top of your screen. Gets pressure, got away from it. Gets more pressure and throws it away and got hit right at the out of bounds line.
Paris Harrelson going to apply the pressure. Excuse me, Jonathan Hefney going to flush him out. Paris Harrelson going to apply the hit.
So here comes a big down here. 3rd and 8.
Big 3rd and 8.
11:54 remaining in the contest.
Watch Andre Caldwell coming across the field underneath.
He's been open all night on that play. Hopefully, for Tennessee's sake, they have discovered how to stop that. He's in the shotgun. He's got some pressure from behind. He's still scrambling. He's still scrambling and looking for somebody, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. Tennessee had to have good coverage in the secondary that time.
Tennessee has had holes in their secondary throughout the night, but this time John Chavis' defense makes a stand and comes up with a big play. Nowhere for him to throw the football. He gets flushed out of the pocket, and finally Tennessee flushes him out of bounds.
All right, Wilbur will be back to punt now for the Florida Gators, and Jonathan Hefney will be back to receive. This would be a time for Mr. Hefney to show all the world what he has been showing in practice.
Tennessee setting up for the return, and this guy is instant excitement.
See if they kick it to him or if they kind of try to kick it away from him. First of all, they get pretty good pressure on him, and he kicks it right up there. Hefney calls for a fair catch. And that was Goody, because they were right in his face. And he let it go. That thing could have bounced all the way down to the 5-yard line or further. So they're in pretty good field position as a result of the fair catch. It's 21-21. 11:32 left in this ball game. And you are watching college football right here on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Catch a triple header of live college football Saturday on CSS. First, Southern Conference powerhouse Furman travels to Pittsburgh to take on the Panthers live at 1 Eastern. Southern Conference foes Georgia Southern and Chattanooga face off at 4, followed by the Memphis Tigers against the UAB Blazers at 7. Don't miss it. Corey Larkins has come in at tailback, and Ainge is still in quarterback. 11:33 remaining. A lot of time. A lot of things can happen. But right now, folks, we're all locked up at 21 all. Ainge fakes, rolls, throws, complete. And up to Close to a first down is Corey Anderson.
Good pocket awareness by Eric Ainge. He feels the pressure and gets rid of the ball quickly to Corey Anderson.
Got about 8 yards out of it.
He's on the rollout. The pressure's there. Quickly gets it off to Corey Anderson. Good play by Eric Ainge.
Corey Anderson is as big as a defensive tackle. He weighs 270, maybe a shade over.
And Corey Anderson's a kid that's still learning how to play football. Didn't start playing football until his senior year in high school.
Ainge gives it off to his tailback, and Florida smothers him on this one. There's nothing there. Ray McDonald, Earl Everett. Those are two guys who have been extremely active. McDonald, right tackle, Everett, strong side linebacker.
And people ask Philip Fulmer, will it get to a point where you'll decide on one quarterback? He said, you know what we'll do? We'll alternate them, and if one guy seems that he's moving the offense better than the other, that's the guy we'll go with. I think right now Eric Ainge is moving the offense.
Well, he needs to move it 3 yards right here. It's 3rd down and 3. You make 3 or you put it back in the hands of Chris Leak. Ainge is checking with his fullbacks. His fullback and his tailback. See if they're on the same page. He's back in the pocket. He's got time. Oh! Intended for Tony Brown, but came very close to letting that one get into the hands of the Gator. So now they have to kick.
Tennessee just doesn't seem to be as efficient offensively when they get the audible from the sideline. A lot of confusion on the quarterback, a lot of confusion at the offensive line.
Ainge talking with his offensive coordinator on the sideline.
Right through the hands of Tony Brown.
And then a Gator came up behind that, so need a big punt here from a big punt man. Oh. Fair catch, dropped it! Fight for the football. Let's see who's got it. Florida has come up with it. Wow. Vernell Brown was the man back there dropping the football, and Tennessee had a chance. 55 yards.
That would have been a huge turnover for Tennessee.
Would it ever. Ball is going to be on the 6-yard line is where they officially put it down. The score, Florida 21, Tennessee 21, 4th quarter. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports.
We're overstocked and ready to rock. Subaru of Gwinnett, Atlanta is going to put you in a new Subaru. And here's how it's going to happen. Discounts up to $7,000 off MSRP. You'll pay less than other dealers pay. Cash back up to $3,000. 0% financing for 60 months. A free 100,000-mile warranty with every new Subaru. Plus top dollar for your trade-in. We're overstocked and ready to rock. You won't find a Subaru for less. Subaru of Gwinnett, Atlanta on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth.
Well, Florida kind of got away with one after dropping the punt, but they did fall on it. But they're got their backs to the wall. Let's see if Tennessee's defense can take advantage or if Leak and company can bring it out of there. Still 9 minutes, 52 seconds of football remaining at sold out and then some Neyland Stadium. Record crowd of over 109,000.
Watch Andre Caldwell matched up man coverage with Jonathan Wade on the outside.
Leak looks that way and says something to his lineman. Apparently he's going to change it. Maybe he saw what you saw at the last second there, Terrence, and we're going to step in and have a timeout called right here.
Reset the 25-second clock. We'll start on the snap.
Well, resetting the clock is what the call is all about. But maybe that gave the Tennessee sideline a chance to give some instructions out there, because a one-on-one situation on the outside could have been very dangerous.
Tennessee looks like they're still lining up in the same set. They still haven't set the clock. The clock's still at 0.
The game clock shows 9 minutes, 51 seconds remaining. First down and 10, and they got, with the play clock, some problems apparently. Tennessee next week will be their homecoming game.
Second clock. Keep the 25-second clock. He will get down to the final 5 seconds and start seconds from so we can get the clock fixed.
Louisiana Tech comes in here in the Vols' homecoming game next week. They won their first 2 games of the season, then lost to Miami. So they'll come in with a 2-1 record. And the old grads come back to the Hill. There's the schedule. After that, Auburn with a big win over LSU. In good shape in the West right now. Georgia still on the road. Big game. Here's a driving play, and takes about 6 volunteers to drop this Gator, Deshaun Wynn. Trying to get out of the shadow of their goal line back there. Goal checkerboard to their back. And they came out with a big play that time. Got 7 tough yards. Very tough yards.
Very, very tough yards. I'm not sure Tennessee wasn't trying to strip the football, because he carried a lot of volunteers for a long way on this play.
They're reaching in there, but they came pretty close to getting it too, I think. Clock starts running. Florida running with the football. And Tennessee jamming it up. Good stop that time to the right side. Really minus a yard. Omar Gaither was leading the defensive charge that time. Turk McBride also in on this.
Turk McBride there.
So it's 3rd and 3.
Big 3rd down.
Huge 3rd down. 8 minutes remaining and 36 seconds. 8:35 and going. They need 3 yards. Tennessee needs to stop them. Chris Lake's going to call a timeout. If you have any doubt, that would be the thing to do right here. It's a huge play for both teams. That's their 2nd timeout. So we got 8:24 remaining, stopping the clock with that much time. Tennessee 21, Florida 21. These old rivals are really having a good one here. Take your lunch break with Coach Fulmer every Tuesday. Don't miss live coverage of Fulmer's weekly press conference at 12:30 Eastern. Only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. 3rd down and 3. Play clock is now working properly, by the way, we were told. 8:24 on the game clock. And Florida needing 3 yards or they'll have to punt it away. In the shotgun is Chris Lee. Tennessee needs a big defensive stand here. They do not get it. Florida gets the 1st down on a nice curl in the middle by O.J. Small, who has caught every single thing that has been thrown to him tonight.
Nice curl.
Tennessee not one time has covered him.
Nice curl by O.J. Small and a nice call by Florida offensive coordinator. Nothing fancy, just a 3-yard curl to pick up the 1st down right over the middle.
All right, Florida now with a 1st and 10. 21-21 ball game. 8 minutes left in the game. That's a lot of time, yet can be very fast moving as well. Lake's got plenty of time to throw. He throws long, and it's caught. And this will be a touchdown, Chad Jackson. Tennessee made a swipe at it, missed it, and it turned out to be a home run of 81 killer yards against Tennessee.
Brandon Johnson makes a play for the football and misses, and it's Katie Barr to do it.
You will see the complete play unfold here and how close Tennessee came to knocking it down, and they didn't.
You're going to see Brandon Johnson. I think he may have even got a hand on the football.
He might have actually touched it.
But Chad Johnson takes it to the house. That's the same play that they were successful with Andre Caldwell earlier in the ball game, running him completely across the football field, getting him lost in coverage.
And the kick is up by Leach, and it is good, and Tennessee finds themselves once again trailing by a touchdown, 28-21 on a home run backbreaker play. And Coach Fulmer now really trying to get his troops together on the sideline. Take another look. And I believe he actually, I think you're right, Terrence, I believe he touched it there, but it didn't affect the catch. Concentration was tremendous by the Florida receiver, and he goes all the way. No flag, no celebration flag. We saw that falling in the UNLV game. Kind of a disturbing fact for Tennessee's defense tonight. Florida now has put together 2 drives of 90 yards or more. So that is giving up a chunk.
And I think on both of those drives, they were able to exploit the inexperience of the Tennessee secondary.
Exactly right. We've still got 7:43 for Tennessee fans. There's still time. Corey Larkins will be the deep man receiving. It's going to go all the way to the back of the end zone and through it. So Tennessee will bring it out to the 20, put it in play. Career-long pass of 81 yards for Leak. Of course, he is only a sophomore, so in the second game of his sophomore season. So I'm sure he's got many more highlights down the line. He's played a magnificent game tonight.
Really played within himself, not tried to win this game as himself, just taking what the defense is given.
28-21, Gators up over the Volunteers. Last 4 games in the series has been won by the visiting team. Tennessee trying to break that mold tonight. They try it on the ground, and Florida jams it up, maybe a yard. That's about it. Jabari Davis hit by Marcus Thomas. 0 yards they give him. 4 plays, 94 yards. 4 plays, 94 yards. It's the big one, 81 yards. Clock ticking, 7:16 to go. Tennessee going with a running play. It goes nowhere. It brings up a 2nd and 10. Haynes is still at quarterback. Haynes stands up, throws out in the flat, led his receiver a little too much.
Too far out front, a little too much on the ball. I think Florida was able to get some pressure immediately off the corner. May have spooked him a little bit.
Haynes looks at the sidelines and Randy Sanders to see what he has to call. And Philip Fulmer encourages his team. It's a huge down right here, 3rd and 10.
A lot of time on the clock, but Tennessee needs to have a sense of urgency about the way they approach this drive.
You've got to come up with something right here or turn it right back into the hands of Chris Leak. And it's got to be better than 10 yards. And it's incomplete. Tennessee wants interference, and they'll get it. Fortunately, Tony Brown was the receiver, intended receiver, and the flag is going to be thrown. Did it help that it was within about 2 yards of Philip Fulmer over there?
I guess not.
I think it was interference, though. But
I think it was to be on Tony Joyner.
Here's the call.
Pass interference against the defense. Penalty is a spot of the foul. Number 49 committed the foul. First down.
Terrence Holmes, number 49.
I stand corrected. You're going to see Terrence Holmes matched up against Tony Brown.
Yeah.
He may have had that left hand wrapped around his waist.
So the Vols stay alive with this drive. Penalties. Tennessee still only 1 in that department. Haynes. This one has the look of being a little confusing, but we'll see how it turns out. Gerald Riggs run out of bounds. Jabari Davis, correction on that. Number 34, not 31. There's a good shot of Randy Sanders as he tries to get the plays in. Pickup was 3 yards, so it's now a 2nd and 7. Tennessee a little quicker up to the line. They're trailing 28-21. Now Ainge steps back and looks at the sideline for his play. Gives the call out to his backs and to his linemen. And to those wideouts. Drop the football. Scramble for it.
I really believe the audible at the line is causing a lot of problems for the Tennessee offensive line.
I think you're right. Actually, he and the center were not even on the same page with that one. Although it looked like Eric might have just pulled away a little too quickly.
He may have pulled away too quickly.
Fourth fumble. They've lost 2 tonight.
They dodge a bullet there.
Well, here comes another one. 3rd down and 9. The big plays just keep coming. The clock keeps ticking. 6 minutes, 2 seconds to go. Flag is dropped. Over there. Timeout. No, it's going to be a timeout call.
Their first timeout of the half.
The first one, as you heard, Tennessee used in the first half their timeouts rather quickly, but this time they have used none up until this point. Stops the clock at 6:01. Tennessee trailing 28-21. Don't miss Talking Sports with Danny Sheridan live every Sunday at 8 Eastern for an hour of debate and discussion about college football, plus plenty of good-natured ribbing. Catch Talking Sports every Sunday at 8 Eastern, only on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. 3rd down and 9.
Whatever Tennessee has called here is going to have to hit quick. I think Charlie Strong is going to bring some pressure.
Ainge on a throwback. It's going to work. Down the sidelines for a 1st down and all the way to midfield. Tony Brown. 15 yards on the play. It was Chris Hannon. Number 13, as I first thought there.
Good call by Randy Sanders. Catches Florida, bringing a lot of pressure off the corner, gets Chris Hannon on the outside and picks up the 1st down.
All right, Tennessee 3rd and 9, and they came up with a big play. Ainge to Hannon. Still trailing 28-21, but still 5 minutes to go and a little over. Slant, a little too high and hard for Chris Hannon that time.
If you're Chris Hannon, you have to have that play. You got to catch that ball at this point in the ball game. May have had a lot of steam on it, but you need this. You need to come through for your young quarterback, right through his hands.
And you know, he might have gone with his speed.
There was nobody out there.
No.
Middle of the field wide open.
He was gone for a touchdown if he pulls that one in. And you got to put some zip on it in that case, or it gets intercepted. Now Ainge is facing a 2nd and 10. Gives it off to his tailback. They turn it upfield, and Jabari gets a little room there, not much. Marcus Thomas made the stop.
Jabari Davis doing a good job of getting yards when there's nothing there. They're running that sweep into the short field. There's not a whole lot of room for your tailback over there.
Actually got about 4 out of it, so it'll make it a 3rd and 6. You can't keep living on these 3rd down plays.
I tell you, they're bad for your blood pressure.
5 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Yet another 3rd down and 6 to go this time. Ainge has got heading for a 2nd, but Derek Tinsley couldn't connect.
Derek Tinsley falling down on the route.
And there's Coach Fulmer still urging his team to keep their head up and apparently calling a timeout. This one will be charged to Tennessee. It'll be a 4th down and 6. At this stage, do you think they would consider going for it?
You would like to say yes, but then you would also like to punt the football and see if your defense can get it back for you on the other side of the field.
Hey kid, are you with your parents right now? Have they ever asked you about the drug ecstasy? Probably not, right? They still think parties are all about getting drunk. Hey, if they never asked, they'll never know that E is used by good kids just like you. They'll never know about those vitamins up in your bedroom or that glow stick jewelry. They'll never know that E can cause seizures, strokes, heart attacks, or death, even the first time you use it. Yeah, you sure got them fooled, all right.
All-time record crowd of over 109,000 in here tonight. The top 3 attendance games in the history of Tennessee football have all been against Florida.
If you're Tennessee and you don't pick it up here, I don't think you get a chance of getting the football back from a good Florida offense.
They are going to go for it on a 4th and 6. Ainge is going to operate out of the shotgun. Florida starts dropping. Ainge has got time. He's got his man. Tony Brown. Wow, what a gutty call. What a great throw. What a great catch.
What a gutty call by Philip Fulmer. Great call by Randy Sanders. And a good throw by Eric Ainge to Tony Brown.
All of the elements came together right there.
Florida dropping a lot of people back in coverage. Eric Ainge finds Tony Brown across the middle. And Tony comes up with a huge play.
Somebody's blowing tiny bubbles up here, you know. Gerald Riggs, not much here this time.
All you want your tailback to do in this area is hold on to the football. We don't need anything fancy. Good hard yards with 2 hands on the football.
Well, he got 1 yard, so it brings up a 2nd and 9. Ball is on the 14-yard line of Florida. Tennessee trailing 28-21, but within striking distance here. Ainge trying to relay to all of his players what the play is that has come in from the sideline. And he sticks it in the stomach of his tailback. He tries to turn the corner. Just great pursuit by Florida. Keeps him from gaining very much.
Good play by Florida on defense.
Todd McCullough was one of the men there, first in there.
Jarvis Herring made an exceptional play of running Jabari Davis down from behind.
Got 2 yards when it looked like for a fleeting second there that it might be able to turn that corner.
Looks like he was going to get to the corner, but this is just unbelievable ability of running the ball carried down from behind.
So, guess what? Here comes another 3rd down play. 3rd and 8. Complete. Dancing end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Wow, what a great run after the catch. Jason Swain. Ainge to Swain.
Man, oh man. Is this not a big drive of big 3rd down? Good protection for Eric Ainge. Jason Swain going to come across the middle, and this is all wanting to get in the end zone. He smelled the checkerboard.
Thank goodness Jason's a big guy, weighs about 210, or he might not have got there.
6'1", 210.
Wilhoit ties this thing. Wait a minute, it's no good. It is no good.
He missed the extra point.
28-27. It was so sure that I think the crowd is still thinking it was good, and I thought it was good.
I'll tell you, I'm in shock.
Let's take another look. Looked like he kind of skipped up there, and he did miss it.
His holder knew right away.
Well, they've got 3:25 to try to get the football back and give him a chance to redeem himself. But as you see, all of his teammates doing a great job of patting him on the back because they know he's won some football games.
John Chavis has a huge task at hand.
You just don't miss an extra point in a game of this magnitude, but the youngster, it happens.
You almost consider those to be automatic. And sometimes your kicker will relax, a little too relaxed, and push the ball to the right. That's just what he did.
So it's a 28-27 Florida lead with 3:25 to go. Let's take one more, if you're a Tennessee fan, painful look.
And watch the reaction of his holder. He knows right away that that kick is no good.
Henderson did just turn and
just pushed it too far to the right.
My goodness.
May have put a little too much leg into it.
Yeah, it looked like he was trying to, like he was kicking a 40-yard field goal almost, didn't it?
Boy, you hate to lose a ball game on a play like that.
Well, their only hope now is to try to hold Florida, get it back, and then either get back in the end zone or try a field goal. And Will Hoyt will kick off, and he does a nice job of kicking it into the end zone. And Florida will start from the 20-yard line. Andre Caldwell fields it in the end zone.
Ron Zook looking over his plays. John Chavis, of course, on the opposite side, deciding what he's going to do defensively to try to get this football back.
You know, I bet a lot of people in this stadium didn't even look at that extra point.
And you can count me in that crowd of people.
You can count me in there
that
too.
didn't look.
I just kind of looked at the kicker and didn't even glance up because he is so automatic. I'm betting you 60% of the people didn't even look at it. Here's the pass out in the flat, and it's going to pick up positive yardage, pretty close to a first down, as a matter of fact. Cedric Faison, who's a dangerous runner.
Very dangerous. And
9 yards.
There you see Will Hoyt.
Well, there's a very sad shot right there. Will Hoyt with his head in his hands. .246 and the clock running. They'll try to drain everything they can out of the clock now. Take every play right down to the final tick. They need only a yard for a first down, and then that would stop the clock. And they appear to have that with Faison. It does stop the clock at 2:30 for the movement of the chains. It's Tennessee 28-27 loser here tonight unless they can do something dramatic here. There's Faison limping off in this final 2 minutes and a few seconds. But Florida just bought them some more time by picking up a first down, so it's going to be very difficult for Tennessee to regain control of the football. They're going to take it down as far as they can on every play. And I think we got Tennessee jump, but I think we had some motion by the Gators. But all they're interested in right now is killing clock.
That is Florida's third and last timeout.
I think they're going to give them the timeout before the motion penalty.
That is what they called a timeout, so there is no flag.
And
2 minutes and 2 seconds.
That is their final timeout.
But they do have a 1st and 10 situation, so turnover is about the only way they can get it back. Two minutes and 2 seconds. Florida's got a 1st and 10. They've got a 1-point lead. Something along the lines of a dramatic turnover would have to occur. Otherwise, I don't believe Tennessee is going to have much of a chance to get this ball back. They're going to stick to the ground and pick up very solid yardage by Deshaun Wynn. Kevin Burnett made the stop. Minute 55 remaining. The clock stops with that much time. It'll be 2nd and 4.
And I think Tennessee uses their final timeout.
They did their final timeout.
This has been like a heavyweight battle.
It has. Just slug and slug and no rope-a-doping, just pounding each other.
You feel like one team is going to take the game and put it away, and then the other team fights back, and this has been all we expected it to be. Good SEC football, Florida versus Tennessee.
You hate to see a game come down to one man having to take the blame, and that's not really the case, but still, how horrible do you have to feel for the Will Hoyt youngster? Minute 55 remaining. If Florida gets one more first down, then they have it in the bag. And they're 4 yards away from doing that. Second and 4. They make the stop, Tennessee does, short of a first down. Deshaun Wynn got hit by John Poe for a 1-yard gain at most. But the clock does not stop.
No, it doesn't.
Everybody's used their timeouts.
And like you said, Florida going to take all the time they can to run this play.
In fact, they don't care now if they get penalized for too much time. Minute 20 and running. The handoff. He will not make it.
He will not make it.
It will be fourth down.
And there's a flag over next to the Tennessee sideline.
And that will stop the clock. No, it's not going to stop it. They're still running. They ticked off another 7 or 8 seconds after the flag fell. So it's 55 seconds remaining. We're trying to unravel what's going on down there. And
after the play, personal foul, number 81 on the offense.
Ooh, personal foul on Florida. Dallas Baker, a wide receiver.
That is big. That is big.
Why would you do that when you got your team has got it locked up? But he did.
I bet Ron Zook is asking him the same question.
It stops the clock, for one thing. And now it's in the hands of Jonathan Hefty. If he gets a big play out of this, Tennessee's got a shot. But he has to make a big play right here.
I think he's going to be able to set it up for the return.
He's in position, maybe. No, they close in on him and stop him, and that stops the clock at 43 seconds.
Good coverage by the Florida kicking team.
41 yards. There's the gentleman who, wouldn't it be poetic if he could win this thing right now?
You would like to see this kid get another opportunity.
One more shot
to win this ball game.
And that's going to be up to Eric Ainge.
Tennessee has the wide receivers to move this football down the field.
Neither team has a timeout remaining. They both have used them up. Remember, if they get a first down, it does stop the clock. Ainge got his first down. No, he dropped it. Chris Hannon dropped it. Thought he had it for a second.
Chris Hannon has dropped 2 big balls in this football game. The first one on the slant and that one there. You need those catches.
That would have been a big first down. The other one might have been a touchdown.
Chris Hannon needs to come up with that.
38 seconds, 38 ticks remaining. Got a long ways to go to get even in a long field goal range. They're thinking downfield, though. Standing, spinning, getting out of it. Got his man, middle of the field, down to the 40. And that should stop the clock. It does at 30 seconds. Tennessee will hurry to the line of scrimmage because it will restart when they set the chain. They probably will spike it. "30 seconds to go." And he does spike the football.
Another chunk of yardage like that, and Wilhoit has a chance of winning this ballgame.
It comes down to that. That took 1 second off the clock, the spike, so he's got time for what, 2 more pass plays?
2 more pass plays, I believe. Maybe 3.
Missed opportunities. Last time balls lost tied due to this extra point was 1978 against Oregon State. I'll tell you what, you guys in the truck did some serious research right there. Good job. All right, Hannon stands up, throws, got his man. It's not enough for a first down, so the clock going to continue to run. 21 seconds. Second down and 10. That's not important. Yardage down to field goal range is important. It's spiked again.
Tennessee,
13 seconds.
They lost a lot of time off the clock.
They only have time for 1 more play, and I'm not sure they could still stop the clock then.
I think they're going to bring him on and attempt now.
Boy, this is going to be a mile. 51 yards.
The one good thing for Wilhoit, on his kickoffs, kicking this direction, he's put them out of the end zone.
All right, James. It's going to be exactly 50 yards. They're going to spot it right on the 40 with the 10 yards in the end zone. 50 yards. The kick is down. It's on the way. If they'd ignored him, I think he would have been gone.
I think he would have went into a shell. You're exactly right. They patted him. As soon as he hits it, Bob, he knows this one's good.
Yes, yes. Look at it. It didn't even get there till he was celebrating.
It's like hitting that beautiful drive off the first tee. This game has given us a lot of thrills.
It shows you the stupidity of that rule, though. There's not a team, a player in America that could not have held back from celebrating at that point. That's impossible. You cannot do it. You'd have to be dead to not celebrate at that point.
Tennessee doesn't have enough coaches and staff to keep all those players off the field. But 6 seconds left. A lot could happen in 6 seconds. Tennessee has to cover this kick really well.
Boy, he got a lot of foot into it. All the way down to the 5-yard line. 3 seconds. They're going to throw it back. They're going to try the old Music City Miracle. It's over now. The biggest win in a long time for the way it happened and against who it happened. And against an arch foe before a record crowd. Look at James Wilhoit. You deserve it, baby. What a great, great comeback from being so low to so high. And this crowd hung in there with him. And he became the hero of the night.
We talked about this game being like a heavyweight battle. Tennessee hung in there way through the last round, and they come out with the victory. Unbelievable.
You can feel the whole state of Tennessee shake when he hit that field goal. Wow, what a victory. And if you're a Florida Gator, what a heart-breaking loss. Tennessee was about to feel, just about to feel, what Florida is now feeling. Tennessee wins it on a dramatic finish. You're watching college football on CSS, your source for Southeast sports. Well, one of the most dramatic finishes I've seen in a long, long time because of what happened there with the kicker. There he is, the hero of the night, who almost was the GOAT of the night, James Wilhoit. But his teammates stood beside him, his coaches on the sideline. After missing an extra point, he comes back and hits a 50-yard field goal. I thought they might try one more play to get him a little closer, but they had no timeouts, so if they had tried to play, the clock would have run out. But they win it by 2. Terrence, your assessment, my friend. You've been in some thrillers yourself. Can you imagine?
Unbelievable. If you left this game earlier, you turned the TV off, you missed a good one.
Well, it's been a great, great night for Tennessee. A tough night for Florida, but it's a young season. A lot of things can happen down the line. Coming up next will be Louisiana Tech for the Vols and their homecoming. For all of us, thank you for joining us from Neyland Stadium, and good night, everybody.